Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and yeah, got some technical problems with the mic. Come on, girl, this way. Yeah, I got some technical problems with the microphone. The phone's not picking up any of the mics. The external bit, like it says external mic. I can't. It's not coming up on the phone. I've tried everything, checked all the settings, done everything. I googled it. I don't know what's wrong. You know. All of a sudden I've lost external mic capacity, and I've tried all different cables, different mics. So just things are tough at the minute with the horse, with the vets and everything. So hopefully Unite the North, hopefully they got a phone for me. So a happy days, and then with a new phone, hopefully it'll, because this is an iPhone apparently, and it's meant to be what I need for this kind of thing. I was talking to Paz, and that's what Paz says as well, what he uses, and it looks really good. So it does. I've just got a problem with this selfie stick moving about a wee bit, but I've got it balanced as best I can. But no, it's Saturday afternoon, going for a wee walk with Tulip, and got my football on. So I like just going for a wee dander when my football's on, and because I don't really follow it, I just put down my favourites and stick a wee fiver on it, and that's me, you know. So I hope you can hear me all right. I have got a wee muffler at the end of the phone. It's actually just a wee baby sock to muffle the sound, so hopefully everything's okay that way, and there's no more wind catching it the way it does. It won't be a big improvement, but I'll do until I get something sorted. But no, I enjoyed my wee video this morning. There is about Kilcooley. You know, it was a big part of my life growing up, and yeah, but it's all changed. You know, it is all changed now. It's not the same, you know. And I want to make sure you understand that when we're talking about the things that's like the pond multis, it's not like that anymore. It's you know, some community work now the guys are doing. You know what I mean, working with the community, and that's, you know, that's the leadership I'm talking about, you know, and being in charge of doing things for the community, and the right people, like I say, the right people are there, you know, which is good, you know. It'll be good. Like, I would like to see more guys hanging for peace, and, you know, the Protestant and Catholic thing, but it's difficult for guys to come out and talk like that, like I do, when you live in such a dangerous place. You know, because do not kid yourself. It is really dangerous. It's really dangerous doing this. You know, because you know, everything changes. Young ones come up, and some of these young ones have never experienced it. They don't really know what it's like for us, and you know, they look at things differently and see things differently, and they don't probably have any respect for people like myself that's actually been through it. You know. But everybody grows and rises up, you know what I mean? Mum will go straight Tulip. So yeah, I do miss it. I do miss it, you know. But I know you know, when you're there, you get caught up in it all, and you know, it's like, it's hard not to, you know, because it's all I've known all my life. I don't know any other way of life over there, and you know, probably from my protection, I could, you know, because I've still got enemies, you know what I mean? I've still got enemies, like, not many, but, you know, and not major, but, you know what I mean? It's just like, people that just think the wrong thing about me and think I'm responsible for things, and I'm not, you know, but there's nothing I can do about that. Never change that, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But, yeah, so I like the peace, you know, to think about things that are important to me, like family. My wee girl is coming, and starting to build a good team around me, and setting the bricks in place for a strong foundation for my social media platforms. You know, it's like I will be doing things like it's like I was talking to one of the boys. It does cost money. It isn't. You know, I know. I say I don't want for nothing. I don't need nothing and all that, but it does, like, it's costing. It is costing me money, like, and it was all right, you know, but just with the horse bills coming up, guys, it's like, a bit difficult, you know, but I will get help from Unite the North, you know what I mean? We will go down that road, because at the end of the day, if I need equipment and stuff and I'm bringing content for some, because I'm not just talking about you guys on YouTube, I'm talking about TikTok and that, and the other things I do for other platforms, you know, so we do bring content to people and we do have stuff there, but you know what I mean, it's trying to find that happy medium, because I don't want my message getting lost by asking people for money. Never ever want that, you know. And like my mate said to me, he says, like, as long as you just keep everything right, keep receipts, you know what I mean, and you know, have an open book, be an open book as far as funding is, and you know, if you need transport, petrol, equipment, you know, I'm needing a couple of decent mics. I've got a couple of podcasts in my head I want to do with a couple of people that's close to me to start me off. Like I was saying to my partner today, I was actually saying, like, you know, I've got people around me, you know, that, and I've sort of been put off by it because they're close to me, but then I'm thinking to myself, saying to my good partner, like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't you start where you are, you know? And yeah, so I suppose I could hone my skills with people that I know around me, and get the mics in, set up the podcast, you know. I need because it's no hard. It's just a couple of cameras set up on tripods, running at the same time, with the mics running Bluetooth to the phones, you know. And then it's just a matter of editing into a series of clips where, you know, the camera's going to each person. I'd imagine I would like it to have a camera on me, a camera on the person I'm interviewing, and then a camera on the two of us. So then whenever we're doing editing and bringing it to a format, if it's not live, that is, then we could edit it in such a way so it looks a wee bit more professional. So it goes, when I'm talking, it goes to me. When he's talking, it goes to him. And then when we're sort of just like talking about something in general, it can go to the whole room. You know what I mean? Sort of thing. Something like that. That's what I've got in my head. That's the way I would like to be produced, you know. But yeah, like, obviously, if I do some live ones, then just live. I prefer to be live, to be honest with you, even though it's going to be more professional if it's like recorded and edited. But I'd like to do the live, because I don't know. There's something about being live where you know nothing's being edited. There's no pre-hinged questions or anything like that, and you're just getting the truth from people. And I've got to react with what I'm hearing. You know, that interests me. That's like more challenging than just because just sitting down there, just a basic interview, you know, because I don't think you can prepare. Like, I'm wanting to talk to one guy. He's a really good friend, and I'm a really good friend of his family, and I'd love to get him on board and get one of my first podcasts with him. And yeah, he's an immigrant, a young black man, and he's been here a wee while, and his family are here and everything, and you know, just love to get his perspective, especially with the current climate, the way people are and how people seem to be getting confused with the immigration thing, and how because the government are silencing everybody and calling everybody far right racist. It's like, you know, it's like I say, you keep throwing enough mud at the wall, it's going to stick. And I feel as if we're going backwards a wee bit, and I think it's important that even though I keep on shouting about illegal immigration and the state of the country and everything, all the rest of it, it's like, you know, we need to look at the real issues, you know, and let's make sure we don't miss miss anything by the way the government are treating us all and making us feel, you know what I mean? Because it's not nice. But no, it's just a wee Saturday stander with Tulip, like I say. Nothing really on my mind, you know. Enjoyed my wee video this morning. I like talking about the past, and you know, it brings back memories. And even after the video, I'm sitting thinking. I sat in that wee tree stump and that wee tree root this morning, and just thought about like a load of stuff that was happening, and take myself back, because it's almost like when you take yourself back, it's like you're there. You're the atmosphere, everything, the feelings that you have. You know, I can go back into that time and take myself there. It's very strange, you know, and it's always good to snap out of it and come back to reality, and you know, be surrounded by such beauty. When I was once surrounded by so much horror, you know. And there was some horror, absolute horror, you know, and situations that I was in that would be, it's horrifying, and I probably could never talk about it, you know. We'd never talk about some of it, and yeah, it was like, at that time, it wasn't horrifying, it was like, you know, I always say to people, if you were to make a story about Belfast, Northern Ireland, and the paramilitaries, it would, if you were to put Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction together, you'd come close, but nowhere near it, you know. That's how nuts it all is. It's, I always say to people, it's a different world in Northern Ireland, and it truly is a different world, you know. I don't know so much about now, but in the 90s, 80s and the 90s, it was like, it was very, very unique, you know. And it was just one horrific thing after another, you know. People getting tortured and stuff, you know what I mean? Just, you know, some horrible stuff that's happened, you know what I mean? And yeah, at the time, like I say, living it, it's like, it's just part of life. You don't see how horrific it is. You really don't. It's not until after it and you look back, because it's almost like you're in a spell. You're under a spell when you're there, when you're ball deep in it. It's like you're in a trance, and you just do what everybody expects you to do, and you don't question anything, and you know, no matter what you might be doing, you're like, some of it can be horrific, like I say, and you know, you just got to take my word for it, guys. Some of the stuff was horrific, and yeah, inside and outside the prisons, I've seen some horrific things inside prison as well, in Northern Ireland and England. Not so much Scotland, believe it or not. The thing with Scotland is the cameras. There's cameras everywhere in Scottish prisons. There's cameras watching cameras. So it's not so easy. You need to go in like 4 or 5 guys into a cell to do somebody. And then you need to be able to trust them 4 or 5 guys, because they're not going to do yous all. You get me? They won't do yous all. They'll only want to do one person. Plus it's prison, you know. 5 men went to a cell, and like somebody ends up getting ended in there, then it's a hard one to prove, you know what I mean? But that's the way it normally works in the Scottish prisons. It's steam-handed in a cell, you know. And you've just got to be ready. You've got to be up. Got to be aware. Everybody's doors gets opened at the exact same time, so you don't want to be caught napping, you know. If you're in that sort of carry on, because don't get me wrong, you're not going to get victimised in prison just for the sake of it, you know what I mean? You do get bullies. You do get bullies, but if you're running rackets and stuff, and you're up to no good and ripping people off and doing dodgy deals, then you need to keep one eye open, you know. You really do, like. But yeah, can't say too much, you know, because you just got to take my word for it. But no, times are changing, you know what I mean? I'm glad the children aren't getting brought up on what I was brought up with. Don't know what that is. It says wood pellets. I thought it was something for a smoker, you know, like wood pellets for a smoker. God knows what's in it. Yeah, I don't think people will ever appreciate how bad it was in the 80s and the 90s in Northern Ireland, you know, and the 70s, you know what I mean. I was a wee boy when I was 70s, you know what I mean. I was just growing up, you know, but once I hit 9, 10, 11, ball deep in it, learning how to throw petrol bombs as like really young. My mum had just died, and they were training us to throw petrol bombs. I have touched on it, you know. The Olympic, I think it's Olympic Park they call it now, but this is the bottom of Donegal Road. You've got waste ground. It's where we used to have our bonfire in the village, the big bonfire. and then you've got the Peace Wall, and then you got the Catholic side, West Belfast, and yeah, there used to be a wall. I don't know if the wall was built for this purpose or whether the wall was part of a house that was there one day, but it was just a random wall in the middle of this big bit of square waste ground, massive bit of waste ground next to the main motorway running from Belfast to Dublin. And there was this wall. We used to practice throwing petrol bombs because it was a skill. You know, you really had to know how to throw a petrol bomb. And the older guys used to teach the younger ones how to do it, how to hold the petrol bomb, how to arc it over your head instead of getting it all over you. You know, and we would stand with these big barrels of petrol and crates of milk bottles, just filling petrol and putting rags in and practicing the throw, you know. And you become quite good at it, to be honest with you, like, you know. And then whenever there was trouble on the streets, we would be put in the sections, the young team, young guys, and we'd be hiding up alleyways with crates of these petrol bombs, you know. The older ones would say, right, go. And there would be something burning, and you would just grab your bottle and just pass the thing that was burning, and just all in one movement. Back again for another one. Drop down to light it. The rag at the end, you just drop down. There's a tire burning or a bit of wood burning, but it's burning there for you to light your hingy before you come out of the alleyway. And then boom, just one after the other, boom, 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 boom. Like a concentrated attack. And then maybe another group of young ones would come out from another alleyway trying to cut whoever it is we're off for attacking. You know, normally the police, you know, but quite military organised, and you listen to whoever's in charge, and you know, obviously they had their eye on the young ones, who was coming up, who was going to be doing what, you know. But yeah, there was a lot of trouble in the streets, violence and riots and burning cars and all sorts of madness. I can remember one time we were staying out in a bonfire. And like the bonfires back in the day had everything. Anything that anybody had that wanted thrown out. Settees, mattresses, cupboards, you know, everything that burnt was out in the bonfire. And there was a settee. And this guy was drunk. Steaming drunk. So we carried the settee out onto the main road. And cunts oblivious, he's out cold. And we've covered him in wood and pallets and all sorts. We made a barricade in the main road as a laugh, thinking he's going to wake up and I'm in the middle of a barricade, ha ha ha. Well, little did we know, the army were coming out of the short strand going up the Woodstock Road, and they've seen the barricade and thought, we'll have this. And they just drove right through it. I just remember the guy going up into the air, you know, straight up like a trampoline. Up he went. Along with a load of wood and stuff, you know. He was alright, you know what I mean? Couple of lumps and bruises and stuff, you know what I mean? But he survived. He survived. But quite a lot of things like that would happen at the Bonnies. Crazy things, you know. Now, you didn't pass out at the bonfire. You knew. You just did not pass out at the bonfire. Hell mend you if you did, like, you know. But that was my job growing up, was looking after the bonfires. Staying out. Because we lived so close, the Catholic bit was just across the waste ground, and we had the Roden Street boys sneaking along the West Link to try and steal our wood. So yeah, we would sit out, and I was always on the run from children's homes or Rathgale, and I'd be brilliant, because it would be a proper wee hut with carpets, and you know, carpets on the walls and carpets on the floor, nice and cosy. There'd be a nice big fire outside just outside the door of the hut, you know, and all the older guys would be bringing their girlfriends into the hut, and I'd have to sit outside and make sure nobody came. Yeah, I was quite famous growing up, so I was, in East Belfast, hanging about the Bonnies. Yeah, and I just progressed from there, you know what I mean? Going into Rathgale and meeting everybody, all the boys that are now, some of them became household names in Northern Ireland. And yeah, and then just being in the Crumlin Road at such a young age, 16, and then the maze. Yeah, I just become somebody that everybody knew, you know, and a lot of people wouldn't know my name, but they'd know my face, you know what I mean? But yeah, Alright, buddy. So, I'm just going to walk around here to the shop. I'm going to get a bar chocolate or something, right? A wee bit to go, like, you know what I mean? But that's Saturday, and like I say, I don't do this for anything else, just to have another with my followers and get a chat, you know what I mean? But I'm going to be bringing a video about this Muslim woman, it's the policewoman. I'll get the sun out of thingies. Oh, the sun's always right behind me, innit? Yeah, going to get a video out about the Muslim policewoman. I don't know if you've seen her, but you know, she was like in the police, getting bigged up by the police and all that. Pictures of her, the COVID thingies. And she was fucking mates with fucking ISIS. You know what I mean? And not only that, she hated the British Army, she hated anything to do with right-wing politics, she hated Christianity. Oh, she was just a right out and out wrong, and she'd never been in the police. Fucking hell, man. You know, and then we get this phone call. We have this phone call, so I will bring this to you. I'm just trying to get permission of the owner who took it to use it, because I just don't want to steal it. I'm in communication with him, so it's all good. And yeah, she's telling him he'd be arrested for saying God bless you, you know. So trying to get my head around that one, you know what I mean? Because Allah is just a name for God, innit? It's just God translated, innit? It means God. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, what, because we don't say Allah, you don't like us saying God? It's just a fucking translation, is it not? Oh, well, so God's God, innit? I don't understand what the problem is. And I'm thinking, is it because it's a bless you? God bless you, you know? But then I think to myself, guys, they've got these mosques, and they have this call to prayer blasting out all over these neighbourhoods, you know? Really loud, you know what I mean? And like, I just think to myself, like, you know, that's all right, you know, but I can't say God bless you. You know, you want me arrested for that? That's what she was saying. You'd be arrested for it. You know, people would find it offensive, and if they find it offensive, we'll arrest you. You know, and the kicker of it all, guys, is, you know, I've been saying they're here to police us for a long time, and you know, it's just because of the way it's all working out, you know what I mean? I've seen videos. I see all the security guards are all, you know what I mean, all foreigners, you know. I'm seeing it all over again. Some of them can just about speak English, and it's clear to me that they're getting if they're able to get a security badge, guys, right? Please believe you me, if they're able to get a security badge, and they've got 2 or 3 years security behind them, they will get into the police. And this is the other thing. The last couple that we've come across, right? Especially that one, we only know about her because of her social media. The police didn't even check. They didn't even vet her to see if she had any affiliations with any terrorist organisations. They only had to look at her fucking Facebook page and they would have seen it. You know, so, but what that tells me, guys, is the next lot are going to be a lot carefuler. And they're going to hide it very well. So we're not going to know what their political affiliations are. You know, as far as this country's concerned, our king, our soldiers, our security, you know. We're not going to know now because they're going to hide it really well now. But what I'm trying to say to you guys, you can see at this early on in the game, where Muslim men and women are coming into the police force, and that's great. You know, it is good having that, but we have to be careful at the same time, don't we? We don't want extremism. You know, these guys are going to be policing Palestinian marches and Tommy Robinson marches. The last thing we want is somebody that really hates. You know, there's so much can come from it, guys. But what I'm trying to say to you is, you know, it's one of them ones where we just will never know. You know, we just will never know. And, you know, I just don't know. That's a tricky one because there's so many Muslims in the country, and why should they not be in the police, you know? And you got to understand this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You know, these are just my opinions and my thoughts as walking along with my dog on a nice sunny day in Scotland. That's all it is, chewing a fat with some pals, telling you what's on the news, what's on the internet, and discussing it. You know, and I do feel that, You know, if we go on, if we take examples from how the police are doing so far with these diversity hires, then surely we can take that evidence and predict the future to a certain extent, you know. And I'm not saying, all right, buddy, I'm not saying that there's bad. We all know there's moderate Muslims in the world, and you know, there's some really amazing people with every religion, everywhere you look. You know, I'm not saying otherwise. Of course, I'm not. I've got Muslim friends, geez, oh. But I'm saying that there's extremism. There is extremism, just like this police officer. Begum, her name, second name was. So if you just Google Muslim police officer Begum, you'll find her, and you'll find everything about her. And it just worries me that somebody so extreme was able to slip through the net. You know, and then you gotta wonder, like, is there any personal information being at stake? Are the police going to investigate and everything she's done? Every computer she's been on? You know, because surely she's got to log on to everything when she's doing stuff. And I would just hate to think that any of our personal information has been used to give an organisation like Al Qaeda or ISIS any sort of information that could harm anybody in this country, and that's what concerns me, you know. Because if you're there's no you got to understand this. There's no like light extremism. When you're an extremist, you're an extremist. You've got one ideology and one ideology only, and you believe that you're the master race, and anybody else that isn't you should be just moved to the side. And if you don't bow down to what they say, in other words, convert, then you can be held in extreme danger, you know. And that's just a small minority. And I keep saying this, guys, it's a small minority. But it's like I keep saying about Northern Ireland, it was a small minority in the Irish people that were Republicans and wanted to attack the British and plant bombs and all the rest of it. It only takes one man to plant a bomb and one man to pull a trigger, you know. So please believe me when I tell you, it doesn't matter how small that is. Extremism is a serious threat, and it's because of the way it comes. It's the form it comes in. It comes in disguises, and there's nothing that stands out to say this person is an extremist, you know. And a lot of these people are coming across the water and they've got no ID, you know. And we've got the Scottish government saying they're about to allow 500,000, a quota to fill of 500,000, you know. And I got a funny feeling some of these 500,000 are going to be coming from England. And all I'm trying to say to you is, if we're able to get extremism sneaking into our police force, then I'm quite sure we've got extremism sneaking into our country. And we really need to pay attention to what's going on, because it seems like our government just doesn't care. And whenever it's too late, we're going to be getting hit from all directions. There's going to be so many in the country, and it's going to be attack after attack, and there's going to be nothing we can do about it. MI5, MI6 are going to be full. Their hands are going to be so full, and that's what they're waiting for. They're filling, like they say, they've got 20,000 in the watch list, 1,000 getting 24-hour surveillance. Yeah, if it was me, this is how I would run with this. I would be sending people over who are named, who they know. I would send people over to this country that I would know the police would get nervous about and have to watch, right? This is exactly what I would do as a terrorist. And then I would keep doing that for at least 2 or 3 years until the security service were overwhelmed with watching these people and trying to protect the public from these dangerous people. But after that, I would then start filling the country up with people that aren't known. You get me? People that young, new face, no criminal records, no Interpol information at all. And that's the ones that would be doing the damage, guys. The first lot coming over will be here just as the red herrings, but the second wave coming over will be here to attack. And that's the most common sense way for it to happen for a terrorist. And I think we're in severe problems right now, because everything our government is telling us is making me understand that this is exactly what's happening. Because I know for a fact there is operations going on where they are going to target us. And yeah, there is too, I know this as well, there is an extreme side trying to stop another extreme side because they can see the goals that can come from this country by replacement by birth. And some of them are thinking about waiting the long game because they know in 30 years' time it'll be majority will be Muslims, and if they can get majority Muslims on the ground, then they'll get them in politics. Once they get into politics, that's it. It's over. You know, it's over for being Britain being a Christian country, and there's no two ways about it. You know, but it won't. It will change, and you know, a lot of people like Labour Party don't see a problem with that. They don't see the problem with Britain changing from a Christian country to a Muslim country. And you know, that's for everybody, that's for all you individual people to decide, and to, you know, how you deal with that in your heads. You know, I'm not here to say whether it's right or wrong, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, if we live in a democratic society and the democratic of the country vote for a Muslim leader and Muslim councillors in your areas, then that's what you got to go with. And you've just got to pray and hope that there's no extremism amongst them all, or there's nobody there that, you know, really want to change or persecute anybody that isn't one of them, you know. And I just find that hard to feel comfortable with, because we've got our government persecuting us already because we're white, because we're Christians, and because we don't agree with what's going on. So they label us as far right racists. And so with that, knowing that the government are labelling us now like this, what are they going to do later down the road when people are really saying this isn't right, you know? We're the first ones to come out. We're the first ones. I'll be one of the first ones, you know what I mean? Along with Tommy Robinson. Obviously Tommy Robinson will always be the first. But the explosion of internet, like people, I class myself as a journalist now, a citizen journalist. That brings you news and tries to break down what's going on in the country. The people that maybe don't understand the news is clear, or they don't know what's real and what's not real, and I try and keep it as real as possible. And there's an explosion of people like me, and we are the first. There probably have many to come, you know what I mean. But you've just got to understand of what we're going through right now, how the government are treating us, the labels that we're getting. The way Hope Not Hate are still going on about far right racists. I mean, they're making. I mean, see, I struggle to talk about this because it makes me so angry. Like, it really makes, like, my mental health deteriorates talking about Hope Not Hate and then racism, because, you know, they're still there with their posters against Tommy Robinson, calling him far right, and he's not far right. Everybody around the world, every platform, every famous YouTuber, or like Peter Jefferson and all them people, if that's his name, and like Rebel News and all the big names, Tucker Carlson, you know, they're all there interviewing him, and they wouldn't be interviewing him if he's far right. But yet the government still allow these horrible human beings to still carry on with this rhetoric and bring people out on the street with the false rhetoric of telling lies that Tommy Robinson is a racist and far right, when everybody in the world knows Tommy Robinson isn't racist or far right, but yet the government are allowing them still to come out with that rhetoric. And that's the thing that I don't understand. They're the only people in the world right now, Hope Not Hate and the End Racism and the Labour government, that are calling Tommy Robinson far right, and it's only because they're terrified of the man. But what gets me, guys, and this is where I struggle, is that they're allowed to do this. Now, if we were to come out and start labelling people with far right or far left or anything else without like proper without evidence, proper evidence that there it is, he's racist, there's the evidence, then we would get done for that. But because the government don't like Tommy Robinson, these are like the little kids in school that, like, the wee bullies that are nothing on their own, but because they've got the backing of the headmaster and the teachers, they're like prefects and they're horrible to all the weaker kids. And that's what Hope Not Hate and End Racism are exactly like. They're just bullies, and they're running out of support. They're running out of support more and more every day. But the sad thing is, people still believe it. They still believe Tommy Robinson is a racist. They still believe Tommy Robinson is far right. And they're going to these rallies egged on by these headers, Nick Lowes at Hope Not Hate, And these other headers that end racism, they're getting egged on. Normal people in society that just don't know any better. Some of them have got mental health problems, are being bussed in, being told to go to a coach, being paid, being given money and fed, and the placards all made for them like sheep, just coming through a conveyor belt. And they've no clue that what they're doing is totally, like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's so fake and false that one day they're all going to be, we're going to be looking at photographs, looking back at this and going, look at them all. Remember when they were doing this to Tommy? And that's when the penny's going to drop for them, that they've been lied to. They've been lied to all this time and manipulated by these people, these horrible far left fascists, and that's all they are. And I'm on the fence, you know. I'm neither here nor there or anything. I support Tommy Robinson because of what he's been through, but I'm not that kind of guy. Like you know, I've got a lot of time for him, respect for him for who he is, but it's just because of what he's been through. That's it. You know, I've got nothing else to do with the guy. Nothing. I've got no real interest in meeting the guy, to be honest with you, or anything like that. You know, one day when I was younger, like 15 years ago, I was like, wow, I admired him because I seen what he was doing, and I seen how the risky and the beatings he was taking from Muslims in the ring, and I thought, wow, and I was love to meet him, but you know, there's bigger things going on in the world. I got a wee girl coming in the ring, and that's the most important thing to me. And it's just, my heart breaks for the people that are being conned by hope not hate and end racism. So this is my message to, this bit here is going to be for TikTok, like, and this is my message to everybody. Please share this video that you have just watched, and please let people know that they're being used and manipulated by hope not hate and end racism and the Blue Heart Brigade that are in our colleges, and all these students. They just want a cause, and because Tommy Robinson's like the bogeyman, they don't care if it's real or not. They don't care if they're standing there saying lies constantly over and over again and talking absolute rubbish, and the whole world is looking at them going, what? What are you talking about? You know, they don't see what we see. They're surrounded, and these people are being surrounded by everybody. Hey, Tommy Robinson's racist. Tommy Robinson's racist. Tommy, you know, but none of them can bring any proof out. They're just saying the same thing: Nazi scum, Nazi scum. They haven't got a Scooby Doo, and it's just, it's at this minute they may think, but you know, it's going to turn out bad for them, and it's a shame because I imagine some of them are probably quite intelligent as well, and they're just caught up. They just want to hate. They just want to be a political superhero and want to fight for what's right. And where are the racists? And everybody's looking around for the racists and the far right guys. And so, there's Tommy Robinson, hey, and that's exactly what it's like, guys. They're all looking around for racists and people to hate. You know what I mean? Because this is what they live their lives off it. They make their money. You know what I mean? They drink beer, smoke their weed, and eat fast food with the money from the government. They hate Tommy Robinson, they hate far right. So you got to understand they're really desperate to find far right and racism. So they're constantly looking around, and they just keep coming back to the same nonsense. Tommy Robinson is a racist. Tommy Robinson is a Nazi, and it just sounds ridiculous now because everybody in the world now knows, thanks to people like Tucker Carlson and Rebel News and Avi and Emmy, you know, and all the other big massive podcasters like James English and all the rest around Britain right now. And hats off to these guys for giving Tommy a platform, because now the world can see that Tommy Robinson is not a racist. And with that, guys, I'm going to end the video because it has been on for a wee bit long and that. I'm going to edit this last bit out for TikTok for the boys to put on Unite the North. And that's my bit done for the rally coming up that I'm not going to be there for, you know what I mean? But, like, you know, I'm not really that bothered, you know. I would love to see be there and enjoy it and report on it, but I have got a couple of friends going there who are going to be sending me videos, so I will be putting stuff up on YouTube all day long for people to see. So if you just stick to my channel on the 26th, I will be bringing you video footage after video footage and giving you commentary about what's going on. And any lives, I will do Iraqis do the right lives, you know, but my stuff will be up there for anybody to come and look at. Any of my followers just want to nip on the YouTube, see how the Tommy Robinson rally is, you can jump on my platform and there will be an hour update on my channel on the 26th. So guys, I gotta love and leave yous. I'm just coming up to the wee shop now, get myself a wee bar of chocolate and a wee milkshake for the wee journey home. But Tulip doing handstands as usual. That's your peas. And yeah, she's happy. She's happy. As long as she's happy, I'm happy. So guys, I hope the sound's alright. And I'm just going to love and leave you. God bless you all.